Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today is September 29th, 2020. And I want to thank everybody for the feedback throughout this week. Last week, remember, I announced the news would be private or behind a paywall on Patreon. A lot of feedback has come in, and I have to say that everything's going well. And next week, the news will be open for everyone here on YouTube. More details next week. Also, I'm going to implement a couple of changes onto the news. Nothing major, hopefully to make your experience a little better. First one's going to be timestamps. So from now on, every single news edition will have timestamps so you guys can go to the news that you want throughout the video. So it'll come as chapters, which YouTube implemented a couple months ago. So I hope you enjoy that. Straight into the news. We have Kosmo Foto on YouTube. The popular blog Kosmo Foto has jumped onto the YouTube area and basically started with a video on Russian cameras. And I think it's very good to see creators that are maybe out of YouTube making YouTube content, because it not only helps everybody here, but it makes the whole film community grow. So if you feel like supporting Kosmo Foto, maybe you enjoy the blog format, you might enjoy the video format too. So I'll leave the link below. Then there's a new Kodak reusable camera, the Kodak M38. Very similar to the Kodak M35 that I actually did an unboxing video on Sunday, and I'll leave the link up here too and the link below. And this camera is basically a reusable camera that looks very much like a disposable camera. So it's basically all the cameras I've seen so far are exactly the same, except for a couple minor changes. So it looks like the same camera with different skins. We're talking about the Kodak M35, the Kodak M38, the Harman camera, the double film show camera. They all seem to be made from the same factory somewhere in the world, and they all pack a AAA battery on the bottom, around a 31, 32 millimeter lens, f8, f10, depends on what manufacturer. So I'll leave a link to the different cameras so you can get them if you feel like it. But the Kodak M38 seems to be the newer one from Kodak. Then, talking about Kodak, there's a Kodak Story done by Wall Street Journal. So the Wall Street Journal's made a video about Kodak and how they're been trying to adapt to the new age of digital and consumers nowadays. And it's an 8-minute video on YouTube talking about the different things they've tried and failures, I think all the way up to the pharma deal or loan from the US government. So if you feel like watching it, I'll leave the link below. But it's interesting to see how Kodak was as big as it was and has struggled to keep up with the day and age we are in. Then we have one instant they'd be making, the substitute for FP100C, and they finalized the Kickstarter. I think I announced it on the news a couple of editions ago. They're done with the Kickstarter rewards. Everybody's gotten them from the people in Europe and the rest of the world, and also in the US or North America, Canada, and US, which all went in one batch. And now they've made a special edition merch. They have t-shirts, I think totem bags, and so on. Plus, you can now buy the film in the open market. It doesn't have to be through crowdfunding, so you can go ahead and check it out. I actually received some the other day. That was made in September 9th, so 20 days ago, which was pretty cool. Then we have an update from Midtones Chromabox, and as you know, this is going to be a new generation processor for film. And there's quite a lot of news in his article. He's printed a new water tank, and there are changes in the software, as there's 6 different deposits that it sucks the chemistry out and then pours it back. You can actually change where it wants it to suck it out and then dump it. So if you're using C41 and you don't want to reuse your developer, you can say get it from the bottle 1 and then dispose it in bottle 5, and then you can replenish number 1 while it's finishing. So that's really cool. That's very similar to the Jobo ATLs, which used to pick from tank number 1 and then throw in tank number 1, the outside of the tank. So it would have tank number 1 full of chemistry, and then the exterior bottle that you could rechange or reuse would be number 1. But you could never repurpose number 1 to number 4. So I think this is really, really cool, and I'm very excited to see the developing of this machine. So I'll leave the link below. There's a lot more information there on the website. Then do-it-yourself little hack that I found on Lomography. It's Mamiya C33 from the Mamiya C family, as you know, the TLRs with interchangeable lenses, and an LCA Instax camera. So they've grabbed Mamiya C33 backdoor, and they basically sawed a frame out of it and stuck, basically cut down LCA Instax camera to the back. So when you shoot on the C33, it goes into the LCA and then you eject the film, which is one of those do-it-yourself hacks for Instax backs, but I think it's pretty cool. It looks pretty neat and the results are really decent. And you, I think, still keep infinity focus, but that I can't confirm. I didn't really check all the pictures for that, but it seems that infinity is there because they're focusing no problem. So that's pretty cool to see. And maybe you have those pieces, you can make your own kit. One thing is to know, you're going to break basically the back door of the Mamiya C33 and the whole basically almost camera, the LCA. So expect to break some stuff to make it. Then we have an update on Neg Lab Pro, everybody's probably favorite nowadays engine to convert your scans or your pictures you use to digitize your film, is coming with version 2.2 on September 30th, which would be tomorrow. It has a new engine, it has perfect color stability, color picker, cinematic tone profiles, and more. So you can go ahead to the link below, and it's a free update if you already have the key or the license like I do, and if not, it comes, of course, if you purchase it, you'll have the 2.2 version tomorrow. One of the things that's pretty nice about this software is the updates have been always free for people that bought the first generation, so that's really nice to see. Then we jump into news from Ilford, and this I read from Fred Newman from the View Camera Store, who does ultra large format orders for Ilford and usually sells film in stock at their store. There's supposedly a Ilford price hike of 5% starting October 16th. I've written Ilford, my contact at Ilford, to see if this is absolutely true, maybe only affecting the US market, maybe affecting only certain things, or maybe this is an update of pricing that he hadn't done yet. I don't know for sure. So before we all panic, 5% increase from Ilford. Hopefully next week I'll have an update if it's everywhere or if it's just in the US or whatever it is. But I saw this morning and I thought it would be important for most people to hear about it. And it comes from a reliable source. This is not just some random social media person saying that they read this. This is a store that sells these items every day. Then we have another special order. We have Canham cameras, as usual, doing their special orders from Kodak, ordering Kodak Trix in 11x14. And that's the size I'm listed as interested. So it's coming out at around a little bit over $300 per box for 10 sheets. It's a little high, but do remember that Trix doesn't usually come in 11x14. And Kodak prices in sheet film is higher than, for example, Ilford or Adox. So if you're interested in 11x14, I know Daniel, one of my viewers and friends, is probably interested in Trix in 11x14. So go ahead and try to see if you can get some. Then we have some more local news. And I've basically haven't seen it available online, but there's a Madrid lab in Spain called 1826. And they have a 120 Vision 3 film at their store. So if you happen to be in Madrid, Spain, and you want to buy some Vision 3 film in 120, I do think it comes with Remjet, so you have to develop it with ECN2. It can't be developed in C41 without making a mess. You can do it, but try not to send it to a lab. But this is pretty cool to see Vision 3 in 120 film, so you can pack it into a Hasselblad or a Pentax or anything like that. And as I said, not available online in their website or anywhere else, but maybe if you write them through social media or an email, they'll be happy to ship a couple of rolls somewhere in the world. Then, in other news, we have an app made by one of my Patreons, Derek, who I have to say is the most thorough person I've ever seen. So if he's making an app, it's going to be good. And it's called PrintSizer. It's for Android only, sorry for iPhone users. And it basically is an app that, and I might be making a mistake here, sorry Derek, where you have a print and you have details on the print that you like. Imagine, let's say, an 8x10 print, and you want to make that print bigger. You want to print size it, or maybe smaller. I guess you can small it down too. But if you want to make it bigger into a 16x20 print, this app will let you input the data from the small print and will give you the calculations for the bigger print. So they will give you, also now accepts dodging and burning, and it does it in seconds, percentages, or stops, and more things like that. So if you're interested in it, it's still in beta, so it's in version 0.3.0, and you can always give him feedback. I think Derek is looking for feedback from users to see if he can solve their problems with this app for the darkroom, which I think is really interesting. Having a problem making your own app, I'm pretty jealous with that. Then we have, this is not really news, but someone wrote a comment in the news last week, which was there's a skier film holder that I actually mentioned. I actually got the price wrong. I think it was something like 200 something, and maybe it's 179. I'm not 100% sure, but not the price. It seems to be an item that's been available in the Chinese website TaoBao, which is like their Amazon there, for around $50 US. So if somebody has the link, I'll be very happy to share it with you guys, because I think if there's something that can be found where it's actually made for less money, I think it's not bad. I think people putting a badge on it and selling it for a little bit of a price up is not something that should be done in the film community. And talking about that, it seems that from other information I've been gathering, there's a light meter called Keks that's been selling online that looks very much like the Voigtlander VC2, but not with the dials. It has like 4 buttons on the top, and it's laser engraved on the bottom saying Keks. Seems to be also an item that's available at TaoBao for $52 or 45 euros. So it doesn't have the laser engraving. It doesn't seem to be the Keks version, or at least not the branded version. It seems to be a generic light meter coming from TaoBao, China. So once again, if you feel like not paying the premium for the Keks laser, you can go ahead and look it up. I'll see if I can find the link to leave it below, but seems to not be too hard to find. Then we have a new plugin for converting your pictures in Lightroom and Photoshop, which is pretty interesting, called Negmaster. Negmaster actually reached out to me to let me know about this new plugin. It's for Lightroom and Photoshop and works in a similar way to the Neg Lab Pro. I can't say 100% sure how it works because, first of all, I'm not a software developer and I haven't tested this last Negmaster plugin, but you can get it for, I think, 79 euros or dollars. I would have to check exactly the currency, but let's say under $100 or 100 euros, and it will work with both Lightroom and Photoshop, which is interesting because, you know, I think the more products we see in the market for us, the better for the consumer. And we can compare which one we like best and purchase. There's a free trial, which I'll link below, and you can also purchase it if you feel like it. Then someone else sent me information that I think is very interesting, at least interesting for everyone, and more interesting to the people based in Dubai or traveling to Dubai. The Dubai Leica Store is now offering lab services. Supposedly there's a huge increase in demand in film cameras in the Leica Store in Dubai, and they're offering color and black and white dev scan print and framing. So if you're a shooter of film in Dubai, or maybe you're traveling and don't want to fly back with your film, you can take it to the Leica Store in Dubai, and in 3 to 5 days they'll develop and scan. The part that says print, I don't think it'll be probably darkroom printing. If it is, it's super cool, and please correct me. And framing, of course, is a nice little thing. So maybe you can leave your negatives there. They can develop them, scan them, and then they can send you a frame all the way home. But it's, I think, very nice to see that Leica Store Dubai is doing that, offering that service to people there. I do know that there's not a lot of labs running around there, so it's nice to see. And as I said, that's it for the news, guys. Next week, there won't be no news on YouTube. It will be here. Thanks for all the feedback. I really took it all, and we'll try to improve the news and, you know, the show for you guys. So thanks for everybody that's supporting over at Patreon or just through YouTube comments and emails. And also, if you have any information, remember you can send the email to the email below. Thanks for watching and see you next week. Bye.